I am Binu Thomas. I am a member of Faithful Remnant Church, led by the last and true Pope of this era, Petrus Romanus, who is also one of the two witnesses mentioned of in the book of Revelation chapter 11. This is a message for all faithful remnants and for the future faithful remnants. Do you recall the flash news of April 15 of year 1912? At 2:20 am on April 15, 1912, the British ocean liner Titanic sinks into the North Atlantic Ocean about 400 miles south of Newfoundland, Canada. The massive ship, which carried 2,200 passengers and crew, had struck an iceberg 2.5 hours before. Now, I'll give you some backdrop about the ship Titanic. The Titanic was designed by Irish shipbuilder William Peary and built in Belfast and was thought to be the world's fastest ship. It spanned 883 feet from stern to bow, and its hull was divided into 16 compartments that were presumed to be watertight. Because 4 of these compartments could be flooded without causing a critical loss of buoyancy, the Titanic was considered unsinkable. Later, as we all know this, what became the state of that much boasted about Titanic? The wreck of Titanic remained on the seabed, split into two and gradually disintegrating at a depth of 12,415 feet. Since her discovery in 1985, thousands of artifacts have been recovered and put on display at museums around the world. Has Jesus Christ the Lord from his throne in heaven ever compared the entire world to the sinking of the Titanic? Yes, he has. He has spoke through the two witnesses, Petrus Romanus and Mary Romanus, in September 23, 2009 message given in the testimony archives in the website testimonyofthetwowitnesses.com. Jesus said, "This is only the tip of the iceberg, as I have said before, but the iceberg in fact is bigger than you ever imagined, and the world is like the Titanic. Only some people were blessed enough to enter into the lifeboats, but most perished in the cold waters. This was my justice upon them, for they claim that even I could not sink their ship. No, I didn't sink the Titanic. I merely watched them come closer and closer to the iceberg, which was responsible for sinking them. I did not intervene because of man's free will. They were proud enough to enter such a large ship that made such boasts before me, and so they reaped the consequence of their choice. And so it is with the world. I am allowing them to give into captivity. I am allowing them to be oppressed and exterminated. I am allowing them to be punished for their sins against me. Hopefully, some of them will wake up before the iceberg hits them." Pope Peter the Last, also called Petrus Romanus, continues with the reference to Jesus' message. And now, that comparison is becoming all the more real, as all of heaven can see the floodwaters of demons rising, and the world as we knew it slowly sinking. This is happening even now as CERN releases more and more waves of dark matter, the matter that is slowly stripping all of those outside the faithful remnant from whatever humanity is left in them. It all sounds rather apocalyptic now, don't you think? And so if the world is like Titanic, then what are the lifeboats an allegory for? They are an allegory for different churches, and variation on this allegory are used many times in the testimony. And it is interesting to note that many of the people we meet who claim to have a religion of some sort believe that we are all now living in the end times. They believe their world is sinking. and they have chosen the lifeboat. But what about the people who are in the lifeboat of faithful remnant? That is also referred to as the ark. That is a fun question to ponder. Are they all in? Or are they just climbing to the sides? Are they planning on hanging onto the ark with one hand while reaching out to another boat that has former family members in it? All the while believing that they can tread water and hold on to the both boats and survive the icy cold waters. Perhaps some believe that they can dive into the waters and swim into another boat and then carry people who want to be on that other boat back to the ark on their shoulders. And of course, there are always those who are safely on the board of the ark and doing everything they can to tell those people who are treading water to swim to the only boat that can save them and get on board the ark. Now, here is a part of the Titanic story that I really don't like to think about. Did you know that many people simply stayed on board the ship to the bitter end, and then only when it was too late did they resolve to try to find a lifeboat? And why was that? You might be wondering. Why would people think that the ship was unsinkable? Invincibility, pride, salvation apart from the truth, refusing to listen to their conscience, denial, fear of change, clinging to their wealth, inconvenience. It was uncomfortable to hear, procrastinating their desire to take action, listening to bad advice and toxic opinions from people around them. Now, in 2014, 2 years after the mark of beast befell the inhabitants of this planet, the Korean ferry disaster happened. More than 300 people drowned. The sharp turn that resulted in the capsizing of the ferry was made by Park Han-gyeot, the 25-year-old woman at the helm of the ship. As the ship began to sink, the passengers were ordered to stay put. Rescuers quickly discovered that there simply can't be many people in the lifeboats when the people on board in sinking ship are following the orders of someone who does not have their best long-term interest in mind. But without conscience and without common sense and reason, the vast majority of people on that sinking ship simply conformed to the behavior of those around them. And so, what more is there to say? So, I would like to end this message for all who are listening to me. Dear viewer of this video, which ship are you in right now? The world is going to sink down very soon. The captain of that ship will comfort you till everybody goes down to the bottom. Come out of it soon while there is still time. Contact the true captain, Petrus Romanus, who is steering the true ship, the Faithful Remnant Church, to the eternal bliss of the era of peace on earth.